Hi, everybody. Nice to see you today. It's absolutely gorgeous here. I don't know what it's doing where you are, but we've had like 4 or 5 days of spring, so I'm all over it. This is a whole week, 5 days of tips from me about what to do if you lose access to your kids or if that's already your situation. Some new ways of looking at your situation and some new tools for you to use to get into contact and into a good relationship with your kids. Go ahead and say hi if you're here. Drop your comments and questions in the comments, and I'll definitely be in the group afterwards to answer them for you. I'll see what I can do. Sometimes I can even get them while I'm on the live here. Anyway, quick recap. Day one was about not walking off the field before it's over, and it's not over till it's over, right? You are going to win this in overtime. So have you ever been at a game and you've left the stadium because your team is losing and it's too depressing, and then like a couple hours later you hear that they like pulled it out of the fire and they won in the end, and you're so disappointed that you missed it? Don't be like that, okay? It sucks. It sucks for the team that are losing through the whole game too. But this is a thing that you win after a great deal of patience and effort. So don't tell yourself a story about how it's over. Okay. Day two was about using the postal service to its full advantage. The postal service is set up for just this kind of situation with registered mail, with certificate of mailing. You can send things. You don't necessarily know that they'll be delivered to the child, but you'll know that they were delivered to the house or that they're sent back and refused. And then you keep the packages or you keep a record of what was in the package. So postal service is your friend. Day three was showing up to support your child at events, at church or worship events, at extracurricular events, at school things, at sporting events, at shows and performances. Don't take the attitude, I shouldn't say don't, I would prefer, I think it's more helpful for you to move away from the attitude of asserting your right to be there and more into the headspace of exercising your responsibility as a parent. This is what parents do. This is what a good dad does, or a good mom, okay? A good parent shows up at these things to support their child. Nobody can mess with you when you are discharging a responsibility. And if that's what's in your head, it will make it so much easier to stand there and own it and be friendly and let people relax around you and around the idea that you're going to be there at these things supporting their child, and that you're going to help them slowly change their worldview about the necessity, or the non-necessity of picking a side when couples get divorced. So today we're going to talk about all kinds of online fun and contact and connection that you can make with your child in a bunch of different ways. You can do this if they have a phone, if they have access to a tablet, if they have a gaming system. And my goodness, there is scarcely a child in the world anymore over age 7 or 8 who doesn't have some access to those kind of things. So there are a whole bunch of interactive, fun, kidsy games that you can play either on a regular basis or from time to time with your child. You can send them a subscription for something that they could, to help them connect in that way. We'll talk about some other things that you can do even if there's no game or anything happening. I'm just going to read off a list of some of them, okay? Uno, that card game Uno? It exists as an online game. Clue, the board game Clue. There's something called Hearthstone. That's one of the most popular games. I did a little research before this to find out what they are because I don't have little kids anymore. Minecraft. You can totally play Minecraft on your phone or obviously on a tablet, but Those are things that you can do together, completely interactive. But you can also play the kind of games where one person makes a move and the other person might not make a move for a few days or a week, but it doesn't matter. That would be things like Scrabble or chess, or even Battleship, right? Where you make a move, X's and O's, and you wait for the other person to make their move. That's connection. That's that's staying that's staying in connection. And it's way better than having no communication. And it's a way to overcome sometimes some awkwardness in terms of what should we talk about, or kids get tired sometimes that you're always just asking them about their day or asking them about school. It's a way of just being together, um, that's really, really nourishing. Okay. You can, if you're not into games or if that's not practical, you can send text messages with just emojis, which is also super fun to just like find those funny emojis. They're all over the place and there are new ones coming all the time, right? So like send a poop emoji with a heart beside it or something. It's a nice way. It's like a code way of being in contact. And speaking of code, you can totally send code messages. And not necessarily that the purpose of it is to hide the meaning of the message from mom. It's the fun of decoding. Like we all used to do that when we were kids, right? So you could learn Morse code together and you could send dots and dashes, or you can send coded messages with a kind of code breaker that they have to figure out. And all of those things are warm-ups for a real conversation of messages. And it could happen in a short time, or it could happen after a couple of years that you start getting actual messages that mean something. Okay, but all of that is meaningful for a child who doesn't have contact with you. And I'm just going to remind you again of the story of that now mom and stepmom who talked about how she didn't answer her dad's messages for so many years, or didn't answer his phone calls, and then was so devastated when he stopped trying to be in touch with her. We're looking for creative ways to interact with your child in a way that they allow themselves to accept, in a way that they allow themselves permission to be in touch with you. And you might have to be creative and find the thing that feels okay for them. But, when a kid is in this bind, this kind of, it's not a real loyalty bind because I talk about that elsewhere if you've ever heard me, but it certainly is a difficult life situation to be with mom who is going really hard on the idea that dad is not a safe or loving person. They can't allow themselves to have a warm, open relationship with you, but they absolutely want it. So we're trying to be creative in every direction, finding ways for them to feel good about your connection with them, because you need to get away from a feeling of neediness as a parent with respect to your child. Neediness from a parent is cringy. It's not nice for a kid to feel that. And the responsibility is a one-way thing. The responsibility is one way from a parent to a child. The child is not responsible for your feelings or for being a certain way with you. It's all about giving your child what they need to bring them into adulthood, and the rest will take care of itself. So my work is helping dads to stop feeling needy or fearful or apprehensive or defeated, so that they can get on with the work of being the kind of dad that they're proud of being. And that kind of dad is irresistible to children of all ages. So if you need help with that, I would encourage you to get in touch with me, give me a call. You can book time on my calendar at no charge, and I would be very happy to talk to you about what it looks like to work towards those things. Okay, I hope this was helpful. I'll be back again tomorrow with day 5. Put your questions or your comments in below and I'll be all over them. Okay, thanks.